Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm super excited to share. Um, I quit my job to be a stay-at-home dad, and I couldn't be more excited. It's really, really amazing. Um, we did it by achieving Coast Fire, and I hope to teach you by the end of this video uh, ways that you can do it too. Because spending time with your kids, like, there's no other purpose in life really. Like, it's just like being there with your kids, passing on your knowledge, your skills, seeing them grow and learn. That's what it's all about right there. Um, Gosh, so where do I start? I went to school for engineering. Had a pretty successful career. The last 10 years have been saving and investing aggressively. Probably neighborhood of 30 to 50% of our income has been going into savings investments. Um, that really allowed us to grow a pretty good investment account. We've officially hit Coast Fire, which is why I'm able to do this, right? Um, which is awesome. And I want that for more people. Having the financial independence to be able to go out and say, I don't need this job anymore. That's pretty awesome, and I want to help others get there. You know, um, Gosh, so like a big thing for me was getting out of debt, living a frugal lifestyle, um, contemplating investment decisions, contemplating big purchases, holding off on uh, anything that could set us back or sign us up for a commitment that we weren't quite ready for. You know, um, it's I think doing that for the last 10 years has really allowed us to get in a good spot where we're we're saving, investing a huge sum of our paycheck. Um, my job was starting to get really stressful. I was losing sleep, staying up late at night, getting called in at all hours of the day. I was responsible for a machine that ran 24/7, 365. And I would regularly get called in there on the weekends at 2 o'clock on Wednesday nights, and it just made it really hard to be there for the kids, which is why I'm so grateful and blessed to be able to say I'm walking away at 34. You may be wondering like how you can do this. Um, like I said, big thing saving, investing. A lot of it's knowing where to put your investments. Retirement accounts. Oh, conventional wisdom's put everything into retirement accounts, which is good. I've been doing that. We've consistently put in that enough to get the employer match everywhere we've been. But lately, the last 5 years, we've been aggressively investing probably, gosh, let me think about it for a second, probably 25% of our income has been going into a taxable account. That's grown really well. I've been focusing on dividend ETFs that pay a cash flow. Nothing crazy. We got VIG, Vanguard Dividend Appreciation, VYM, Vanguard High Dividend Yield, then VTI, which is Vanguard's total stock market. I have the international equivalents of those, so VIGI or Vanguard International or Vanguard Dividend Appreciation International Fund, VYMI, which is VYM but international, and VXUS, which is VTI but international. This has done really well. I think we're pulling in probably close to 6,000 a year in dividends, which is really good. Um, with that, that's enough to say, hey, like that's enough to cover some bills, groceries, car insurance, stuff like that, which is awesome. Um, in addition to that, we've saved aggressively into emergency funds. So right now, I think with our current burn rate is, if my wife had to walk away from her job as well, she currently loves her job. She's got big promotions, has great benefits, um, fairly good work-life balance. So she's you know not going through the same stuff I was going through at my job, and she's committed to growing her career there and seeing how much further it can go. So I'm trying to support her with that by taking care of the kids, laundry, dishes, cooking, all that good stuff, hanging out with the kids, which is, I love it. So, um, yeah, so if she had to walk away from her job, we had no income at all, not, not touching our investments or anything like that, we'd get by for about 14 months. Recommendations have 3 to 6 months, but you know, a big part of that's having a plan in place. So when that time comes, you're gonna be a little freaked out with, you know, you just lost your job, or so there's some medical emergency, so you're not gonna be thinking straight. Big part of my budgeting is to identify before there is a crisis what I'm gonna cut when there is. So I've got a spreadsheet that I've used that I used to help figure out if I could quit to be a stay-at-home dad. Um, I can share it in the link below. Please check it out. We'll do it for free for now. It's a big help. I use it to figure out my tax liability, budget out everything. In there I have a plan, like a little checkbox to let me know what I keep in an emergency. So if I had been laid off, what do I keep? What do I cut? With that, it's really easy to figure out exactly what your emergency fund needs to be. Because without knowing how much you're going to spend in a crisis situation, you don't know how much you need to cover 6 months or more. With how volatile things are, I strongly recommend having close to a year if you can. There'll be sacrifice for that. You got to cut back. You got to cut back a lot to be able to save and invest. Once you get your emergency funds set up, it's really good to start investing in taxable account. It's retirement accounts are nice. I'm all for it. Now I'm going to get blown up in comments on this, but retirement accounts are great. But at the same time, that capital is tied up until you are 59 and a half. I'm making this leap of faith at 34. I would not be able to do this if I was fully invested all my net worth in a retirement account. The only way I'm able to do this is having it in a taxable account. That's capital I can access right now if I had to. No penalties. That's key. That's definitely key. So another big part of why I'm able to do this is understanding tax liability. So my wife and I made pretty close, pretty similar pays. So our incomes, we get hit pretty hard on taxes. I think our top federal tax bracket put us in 24%. That cutting our household income in half roughly drops our taxes substantially. So I'll put the numbers up on the screen, but the tax liability dropped substantially. One of our paychecks was basically getting taxed way more than the other, which makes a huge difference. So understanding your tax liability, kind of, with both spouses working, you might be thinking, oh, there's no way we can afford this. Think about what one of your paychecks is taking home. But yeah, keep in mind, depending on who's making what, your total household income gets taxed if you're married filing jointly. When one of you stops working, you drop down a couple tax brackets potentially. Knowing what that is and how that's going to impact your budget is huge. Like, there's no way we could do this if in the planning phase, I've been like, nope, can't do it. Your paycheck's not enough. We can't balance our budget, right? But the spreadsheet I got, again, link down below. Please check it out. So hopefully you can also start planning to your exit strategy to become a stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home mom, whatever it's going to be. No judgment here. I'm doing it. So hopefully you can use that to help figure out. It was a game changer. Really opened up my eyes. There's a lot more going to taxes than I realized based on one of us working. It's kind of a lot of YouTube videos out there talking about the dual income tax trap. And it, for sure, that's a thing. So check that out. So I think what I'm going to try to do with this channel is kind of walk through what I'm doing, on my journey as a stay-at-home dad. Maybe come up, share some of the fun ideas I do with my kids. Want to help out everywhere I've worked. I've always helped out some buddies with their finances. So I want to try to share that knowledge, share that my passion for financial independence and budgeting and investing. I want to share that with as many people as I can. So if you please like and subscribe, that would be a huge help because I want to try to reach as many people as possible and share my story, share my passion for financial independence. Hopefully help some other people get to financial independence. There's stages, so I think I might do a couple videos on different levels of financial independence. I'm not 100% financially independent. We're at Coast Fire, right? Which Coast Fire is basically we have enough in our retirement accounts that if we stop contributing completely, we at age 65 will have enough to have a comfortable retirement at that age. So it's basically where we're relying on 30 years of compounding to do the heavy lifting. We've front loaded our accounts pretty heavily. So that's where we are now. It's what's allowed us to do this. We feel confident that we can cut back our investments a little bit and still get to where we need to when the time's right. Don't want to hit retirement age, not have spent any time with my kids, and like have a ton of money but no family. That would suck. So there's health, there's wealth, and family is all the priorities, right? So you got to balance everything. So there's a lot of sacrifices we made the first 10 years of our marriage and careers that have allowed us to be here, and I am really grateful that we chose to do that. The job I was in is getting pretty toxic, pretty hostile. So I'm glad to be done with that and on to the next chapter of my life. I'm really looking forward to spending time with the kids and helping you guys. I would love to uh, help help out with whatever financial questions you guys may have. So please leave in comments. What kind of content you guys would be looking for. Um, I'm we'll see where this goes. I want to do financial independence. It's kind of my passion, my joy. So financial independence, stock picking, ETFs, brokerage investments, retirement accounts, all that sort of stuff. I got some friends that, they've asked me to go through their budget with them, so I might share that. Go through the budgeting process, give you some examples of some other people and what they can do to turn their finances around, get some freedom. So we'll see. We'll do. I'm gonna try to do a video a week. Hopefully, I can keep up with that with all the with summer coming up and the kids being home. We'll see how that goes. But I appreciate it. Please, like I said, like, subscribe, comment. I really want to hear you guys' comments and go from there.